everyone. Welcome to Programming with Vincent. So, in this session, we are going to continue with our previous lesson. Our previous lesson was on arrays. So, now an array is a data structure, as I've said on the previous video. So, now we are going to look at sorting this data structure using an algorithm called sorting insertion sort. So the definition of insertion sort goes by the way, it takes elements one by one from the list and inserts them in correct order in the new sorted list. So let's see this practically. So I've said in the previous video that this is a Java text editor. We will also explore these algorithms and data structures using other programming languages, but I find it easy and much simpler to code these algorithms in Java. So now, without wasting any time, let's just create a method. So this method is going to be public void. Void, it means it does not return anything. So the name of this method is going to be called insertion sort. So it's going to take the parameter called what? An array. I'll name it an array. And then now we have the method, right? And so, like, as you guys can see, there's gonna be some interchange of elements positions, so okay, but you guys will see what I'm talking about. Let's just continue and work with this work on this problem. So I'm going to use a for loop here, right? So this for loop, I will name this variable I equal node. I is going to be less than the array dot length. So, and then I'll have to increment this that variable. So now this outer variable, basically I'm going to work with nested for loop, double for loop. So why do I choose to have double for loop? It's because now there is two elements that we are comparing in this case. So there's an element from an unsorted list. We pick an element from an unsorted list, and then we compare it with those in the sorted list until we find its relevant position. So now I'm going to create another nested for loop, which this nested for loop is going to be, this variable is going to be j equals to, it starts from I plus 1. Like, it starts from the variable, the element before plus 1. So basically it's the element after. Yes, so now this is going to be j less than the array dot length, and then we have to increment j. So now what's happening here, we need to check if the element before is it not equal, is it greater than the element after. So if the element before is greater than the element after, then now we need to swap, right? And so now we need to create a method that will be able that will enable us to swap these elements. So let me just make it public, or I can rather make it private for those who don't know Java. So private modifier, it means this method is only available to this class. It's not available outside of this class, you see, because now this will make sense into when you're inheriting methods, yeah, when you're using the inheritance concept. So this is going to be a private void swap reference. It's going to be called swap reference, so it's going to take integer. So I'm gonna name this integer before. So these guys are index, the index after, and then this is going to be that, and then this is going to be the list, the array that is going to be swapped. So I'm going to, in order for us to swap, it means we must have at least one temporary variable. I'm going to name it temp. So, and then this is going to be called array, and then there's like before. I'm going to map the before one, the before element, right? And then now I'm going, because the element before is being mapped, I'm going to replace its in its position, and then now I'm going to replace with an element after. So now since we have replaced it with element after, we need to put something also into the element, into the position of the element after. So this element after, index after, is going to have the temporary variable being replaced to it. So now this thing is going to be easy for us, guys. Now we're going to just call this swap reference method. So this swap reference method is, we're just going to pass index I before, and then index j after, and then we pass what, our array at last, because now it needs to replace into this array. So now let's go ahead and go and create public void static, okay, public static void main. Now we're creating the execution method, string aux. So now here's an execution method. So now here, guys, we don't have access to this method immediately, right? So we have to instantiate this class insertion sort new. Okay, I'm gonna give it an object name called obj, and then I'm going to instantiate it with the keyword new insertion sort. So as I've said in my previous video that Java is an object-oriented programming. So now this is an object. So this object has methods in it called swap reference and insertion sort, but as you can see that this swap reference method is private. It means we cannot access it here. We only have access to insertion sort. This swap reference method is just a helper. It's just a helper method to help us accomplish our mission. Yes. So now let me firstly create an array where we're going to the array that we are going to sort. So let me just, I'll give it random numbers, 38 to 58, 60, 4, 57, 0, 37. I'll give it 38 again. So how many elements do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 elements in the list. So we're going to call this method, this object. This object has a we have to call, if we call this swap reference method, guys, we're going to receive an error. We're going to receive an error. We can't call that method. So now the only method that we are allowed to call is this insertion sort. So we're going to pass this array to it, and now let's see if this array, it has been sorted. So now I'm going to display this this sorted array, right? So I'm going to call I, increment that. So everything that we are doing here, guys, we've seen it in our previous video, that this is we have a variety of for loops in Java. So this one is the simple one that you can use to access elements in an array. So now, as you can see, guys, these elements are not these ones are not sorted. So let's just do this. So print the unsorted array. Let's print those elements that are unsorted using the same type of a for loop array. Okay, so the compiler doesn't want us to use that variable. The text editor doesn't want it, it's complaining. So now we're just going to pass this going to pass that j, create some space to it, and then we're going to have system.out.println, and then we're going to say these are the sorted array. Here we're printing the sorted array. So now we can run our Java code and see if this is true or not. But I assume it must be sorted. So as you can see, guys, okay, let me just do this. There's a problem, a minor problem, but we can solve it fast. Okay, this \n, it means I want a new line. I want this the sorted array to be in the new line. So as you can see, it's in the new line. So there's 0. Okay, there's something. Oh, guys, sorry, we were supposed to call this method here, this obj.insertion sort. We have to call it after displaying the unsorted array, because now if we call this object and then apply this method to this array, the array is no longer the same, is no longer this unsorted one. It's the sorted array. As you can see that this array, these two outputs are the same and they are sorted. So let's see this output now. Now it should be fine. It should be fine, I guess. There shouldn't be any complaints. Yes, as you can see now, this is the unsorted array. There is 20, 38, 2, 58, 60. As you can see, it's the same as this one. And then the sorted array, it's the one that has been sorted in an ascending order. So yeah, guys, this is the algorithm to use for insertion sort. So on our next video, we are going to take a look at selection sort. So for now, you guys can keep safe, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Click a like button. See you on the next video. Cheers. Bye.